Reggie Miller faces backlash from NBA fans after fiery Pacers-Knicks Eastern Conference Finals Game 1. The atmosphere was electric the Wednesday night at Madison Square Garden as the Indiana Pacers and New York Knicks collided in the first game of the Eastern Conference Finals. A classic NBA showdown made even more intense by the presence of one of the game's most iconic figures on the broadcast team, none other than Reggie Miller. Miller, an Indiana Pacers legend known as much for his clutch performances as his fiery personality, brought his unmistakable voice to the TNT commentary booth. And it wasn't just any game for Miller. MSG is where his legend was cemented years ago with one of the most unforgettable performances in NBA history, his legendary 8 points in 9 seconds masterclass that left Knicks fans reeling and forever etched Miller's name into basketball lore. Naturally, Miller calling Game 1 of this high-stakes series felt like a full-circle moment, but what followed was anything but smooth sailing for the Hall of Famer. Haliburton's heroics spark overtime thriller. The game itself was a dramatic roller coaster with both teams exchanging blows all night. Indiana's young star, Tyrese Haliburton, put on a show that reminded everyone why he's the Pacers' franchise cornerstone. With the clock winding down in regulation and Indiana trailing, Haliburton stepped back and launched a jumper as time expired, initially believed to be a game-winning three-pointer. In his moment of triumph, Haliburton brought back Miller's iconic choke gesture, a nod to the infamous moment when Miller playfully taunted Spike Lee in the same arena decades earlier. However, the shot was a two-pointer, not a three, tying the game and sending the battle into overtime. But the Pacers seized the momentum in the extra period, edging out the Knicks 13-10, stealing a critical road victory on hostile ground. Critics cry bias as Miller's commentary comes under scrutiny. What should have been a thrilling narrative of redemption and high drama soon spiraled into controversy, at least among the vocal NBA fan base online. Reggie Miller found himself squarely in the crosshairs of criticism, accused by fans of wearing his Pacers heart on his sleeve throughout the broadcast. The accusations were swift and loud, with many viewers saying Miller's commentary showed blatant favoritism. "It's disgraceful to have a clear Pacer on this call. I watched the game on mute," one Twitter user fired off, reflecting a common sentiment among Knicks fans who felt Miller's allegiance clouded his impartiality. Another wrote, "He'll always have that Pacers blood in him, haha. You can hear it in his voice every time the Pacers are on the floor." Even more pointed was the reminder that Miller's jersey is retired by the Pacers, symbolizing a lifelong bond and perhaps an undeniable rooting interest. "His jersey is hanging in the rafters with Indiana. We all know who he's really rooting for," a third fan remarked. Fans of the Knicks, hungry for validation after a tough loss, fired back with calls for Miller to show the same enthusiasm if New York can bounce back and win the series in 6 games. "I want to see that same energy when the Knicks make the finals," one impatient viewer demanded. "It's a tough listen," admitted another, summing up the polarizing reaction Miller's broadcast style received. Game 1. Stats and takeaways. Pacers seize early advantage. On the court, it was clear Indiana's star players carried the day. Haliburton was electric, pouring in 31 points and dishing out 11 assists in a commanding performance that carried the Pacers' offense. But the true spark in the fourth quarter came from a somewhat unexpected hero, Aaron Nesmith. Nesmith, who had quietly been building momentum throughout the playoffs, exploded in the final frame, racking up 20 of his team-leading 30 points during crunch time. Even more impressive was his shooting beyond the arc. 8 made three-pointers, a lethal barrage that put the Knicks on their heels and helped seal the road win. Despite the final score tipping Indiana's way, the Knicks dominated much of the contest, showcasing their physicality and defensive tenacity. New York controlled large stretches of the game and will need to tighten up their defense and reduce turnovers if they hope to turn the tide in Game 2. Looking ahead, the series is just heating up. The Pacers have the early edge, stealing home court advantage and grabbing a crucial 1-0 series lead as both teams prepare for Game 2 on Friday night at 8 p.m. ET Indiana will be looking to push their momentum and move ahead 2-0 before the series shifts back to Indianapolis. For the Knicks, the pressure is on. They need a win at MSG to silence doubters and even the series, proving they can withstand the Pacers' young core and their sharp-shooting threat. As for Reggie Miller, his role as a commentator for TNT is unlikely to disappear anytime soon, but his